Well, a very good afternoon. Coming to you live from Nairobi Securities Exchange here in Westlands, where the NSE Charity Trading Day has been going on since 1 p.m. and the bell has just been rung by none other than the Chief Executive Officer of NSE, that is Geoffrey Odundo. It's been an interesting day of sorts. We are yet to hear how much has been raised towards saving the elephants. My name is Zabi Agina. We're coming to you live from here. We'll also be crossing over to our city center studios where we have my colleague Peter Wakaba. But before we get to Wakaba, let me quickly bring in Geoffrey Odundo, who will be just taking us through what was the event like. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Abid. Thank you. So today has been our actually third edition of the Charity Trading Day, and as you know, we're out to go and really reach out to the communities that invest in the NSE. And the community today, as you can see, is made of personalities making calls to investors. And the funds we raise today are going towards our charity programs. We support wildlife conservation. So we've got Borana Conservancy and Save the Elephant as our team. But we also support marginalized communities. We're supporting Genevieve Homes, and we're also supporting Joy Children.
Thank you very much, Sam.
And we also have the chairman with us here, the chairman of the NSE, and former chairman, sorry. And I'm sorry for that. And we just want to hear from you. What do you make of this event, and what's your message to Kenyans? If you could just turn this way a bit.
No, we are very, very happy with the way we have received support. Of course, doing these charity events really makes us feel that we are part of the community we live in, and you can see the kind of causes we are, supporting this time round. That is conservation and also working with the children who are marginalized.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be expanding this conversation later on, and we'll be speaking to Geoffrey Odundo as well as Jeremy Owori, the chairman, the CEO of Barclays Bank. And my colleague Wakaba is standing by at City Center. And Wakaba, what do you have lined up for us this afternoon?
Well, Abby, we have a discussion here in our City Center studios that is essentially going to take a look at what the economic situation has been like. Of course, everyone does know that the Nairobi Securities Exchange is the barometer of the entire economy. And we expect that you'll be giving us some insight into exactly how that has been measuring out, of course, the ups and the downs going in tandem with what has been happening in the economy, especially with the prolonged election campaign period. What exactly have been the outcomes? Well, over to you.
Thank you so much. Such a great... One of our known personalities, just tell us.
Well, right now, this combination of stockbrokers, the stockbrokers and various media personalities. We also have business leaders attending this particular event, and quite a beehive of activity today, and we'll get to hear from some of them on just what was the experience like, as we also address some critical issues around the economy in relation to what the boycott by NASA means for Kenya as a country, and also talking to the various issues around right now. The stock exchange has experienced a lot of turbulence, where we did see the NSE shedding off quite a substantial amount, where investors lost close to 140 billion shillings. We'll be having that conversation in a short while. And of course, we are looking forward to also hearing from the participants, really, just to share with us why they chose to take part in this particular event. And this event is marked every year. This year is mainly towards raising at least 10 million shillings to go towards saving the elephants. Well, it's, the population of elephants has been dwindling in Africa, and this initiative is geared towards that, ensuring that we have funds that are channeled towards ensuring that this can continue.
We have the SOS Children's Home.
Well, let's go to one of the top stories now, and the Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich has indicated that the government is keen towards ensuring that the rate cap is revised in order to ensure that banks do not get exposed to further shocks. This will be one of the key issues. Let's listen in on what Rotich had to say.
You know how it came about. This came out of a legislation that was imposed in Parliament. The circumstances that led to that is obviously the issues Kenyans got frustrated with the high interest rates for a while. And our position has always been to attack this problem by dealing with the best solutions, which are always first best solutions. In this case, we continue to reform the sector, ensure that first, what are the causes of high interest rates in Kenya? We know part of it is the banks have had higher profitability as one issue. The other thing has also been the high costs, financial taxes and all that. If we disaggregate that, we have been dealing with each of them and undertaking reforms. As you know, I had set up a committee in 2014 to look at that issue, and all those recommendations we are following through. For the first time, we introduced the KBRR. Banks are working on the APR and the like. There are many things happening on the collateral management. Those are all the issues that that needs to be reformed for us to enjoy lower rates going forward. So caps are short-term measures. They are not sustainable. They're not sustainable. But they have been imposed now for us to quickly move into reforming the sector so that we can enjoy lower rates on a sustainable basis. Because caps for a long time will really affect the economy. So far, it's almost 1 year down the line when implementing the caps, and we are looking at assessing the impacts. As you know already, banks have behaved in a manner that the lending has been constrained or limited to some key sectors like SMEs. Those are our concerns, and we are trying to look at why this behavior. At the same time, we are also comparing ourselves with countries which do not have caps, especially our neighboring countries. We also see the credit lending to private sector has declined, generally in most of African economies. So it says something that probably there is a general phenomena happening in terms of credit lending. Of course, growth in sub-Saharan Africa has been low. That explains some of that. So in a way, so countries with caps and without caps are all in the same boat in terms of credit extension to private sector. So we are still monitoring and seeing what is behind this low credit growth to the private sector.
I start. Indeed, Abby, an array of activities on this side of the NSE. But of course, with me is Kevin Uhuru, who is from ABC Capital, and he's going to be breaking it up for us. Kevin, thank you for joining us. If you can tell us what exactly is happening.
What you have here is trading, charity trading day, where our clients are buying and selling shares. Yeah. So what the process is, if you want to trade, you have to open a CDS account. After opening a CDS account, you can buy shares from any of the brokers at the NSE.
So let's say I'm one of the personalities and I just came and I want to help you sell the shares. How do we go about it?
Basically, if you have a personality, we can give a call to either of our clients. So after, if they say yes, we go ahead with the trade, or we can negotiate on the price. Yeah.
What if they say no?
Okay, they can say no, so you have to negotiate. Yeah, we can go, if they want an stock, you can go to another stock.
I understand the event was also there last year and the year before. Were you part of it?
Last year, unfortunately, I was not part of it. Yeah.
As a trader, what is your target? How much are you willing to make?
Okay, it depends on the clients. Yeah, but you can go overboard. $1 million, $2 million. Yeah.
Do you have cases where the broker or the trader decides to help the client or the personality in terms of taking the phone, calling them, because you guys are used to it?
Yeah. Sometimes you have to come in, negotiate, use the tricks on where to talk, where not to talk. Yeah.
Where do you get the contact list?
Okay, we have institutional investors who are known all over, the fund manager, insurance companies. Yeah, that's where we get it.
And finally, I understand the one who sells the most shares gets a price. Does this happen? Is it the same for the traders?
It's mainly the personalities. The trader, it's our day job, so there's no gift. It's in our line of duty.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. So, Abhi, this is just some of the things that are happening on this side. But of course, we'll be moving around and keeping you updated on the latest.
A buyer for CFC. Anyone selling CFC? Anybody selling CFC?
Well, many thanks, Ashley, for that interview. And of course, we're still keeping it here live at the NSE, where a significant amount of money has been raised towards conserving the elephants. And we want to expand the conversation and just get the feeling of some of the participants who took part in this particular event. And of course, they had questions as well to them in relation to how the economy has been performing. And we'll be speaking to some of the top business leaders who are here. We will be speaking to the Barclays CEO, Jeremy Awori, just to pick his mind really on whether the economy has been, how the banking sector has actually been coping with the extended period of electioneering, as well as the rate cap and what this means for them in terms of the business and cutting down really on operational issues and costs as well. And right now, the event is getting to a climax of sorts. And what you can see is just a really spread of the various people taking part, and we just want to keep this conversation going and talk to some of the people who are here. And let me just try and grab some of them as they continue with the photo session. Well, it's been an electric kind of event, and Darshan Chandaria, many thanks for joining us. You're live on KTN.
Oh, thank you.
And just talk to us, how was the experience and how much did you sell?
I still maintain that I sold over 200 million shillings worth of trades, value-wise. Look, it was fun. We had a lot of fun, with the other known personalities. But I think at the end of the day, on a more serious note, I think it's a great initiative. The fact that, everything gets donated back, to a great cause. And we're doing some amazing, initiatives like this. And I think when you bring in people who have a lot of influence together, you find that, you're doing something constructive and you can actually give back and have a major impact. So I definitely sign up next year. I definitely be here next year. It was fun. It was great to hear one of the beneficiaries talking about, how and why it's been beneficial to them. I met a lot of my friends here today as well. And it's been great. Overall, I love the competitive element. Unfortunately, we went down, the system went down, so next year I'm sure we'll have some better internet. We get one of the providers to come and give us some better internet. But it's been fantastic, and thanks for talking to me.
And Darshan, let's expand this conversation a bit in relation to how the economy has been performing in light of the extended electioneering period. And you're a businessman, and talk to us, have the businesses been hard hit, or what's the situation right now?
So, obviously our core business is Chandaria Industries. We're the largest tissue paper and hygiene products manufacturer in the region, and I can tell you, yes, it has had an impact. Even though we're selling a commodity that I know people need to use every day, it is required, right, by everybody. But yeah, there has been challenges. There's been some challenges in the last few weeks getting to certain parts of the country. It is real. So when you hear that there's challenges, ongoing, it is real, to be honest. We're also in real estate. We're in venture capitalism through Chandaria Properties and Chandaria Capital. And I can tell you, even just talking to international investors, going to forums, going to conferences all over the world at the moment, there is that slight concern about Kenya. But look, I'm positive. I'm optimistic that we'll ride this wave through very quickly. And I think as Kenyans, we've just got to stand together united and remember that we have the underlying factors of Kenya are very strong, very, very strong. We just need to ride this through, and I'm sure we'll be looking forward to another 5 years of very, very strong growth, economically, politically, socially, and everything, all inclusive.
And finally, looking at these calls for boycott of various goods, what's your view on this? And really, will it impact brands in a big way or not?
It's unfortunate that things like this are happening. I know. Look, both of the political sides have got their say. They've got what they're standing for and what they're not standing for. But I just wish and hope that we'll do this in a more peaceful way, in a way where we can actually have some dialogue, engage each other constructively, rather than trying to mudsling and see who can throw the stone, or a stone the furthest, try and politically and economically sort of damage each other's ambitions. That's not really where I would like to see. I'd like to see all my brothers and sisters standing together, even my competitors, right? We all stand together when there's an issue, and I'd like to see everybody standing together. And I look forward to, this issue really being resolved. I hope that, they'll find a way to dialogue. That's what I'm really, really praying for. I'm really, really hoping they'll find to do, All
right. And final question, do you think the business community is being punished for, quote-unquote, being partisan of sorts?
Look, it's hard to say. I think what I can say as a business community is that we should always stand for peace. We should, not be divided by politics. We should stand for economic development. We should stand for sustainable development. So whether we're being punished or not is a difficult question to answer. But I think, as long as we're standing for the right things, I don't think there is any reason for us to be punished. And I know the things or the events that have, occurred in the last few weeks, last few months are not echoing what I'm saying or echoing the sentiments that I'm giving, but I think we still need to stand strong. Remember, as a business community, we have a strong voice in this country, and we should use it constructively, not destructively. That's what I believe.
All right, many thanks, Darshan.
Thank you for having me. Nice speaking to you.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Well, we're speaking there to Darshan Chandaria, just to pick his mind really on the state of affairs in the economy, bearing in mind that the opposition has actually called for a boycott of various services and goods, and the business community has sort of said that it has impacted on them to a significant extent, and they are now calling for a bit of dialogue and coordination in relation to this issue. And of course, we are still coming to you live from the NSE. Right now, people have taken a break a bit, and people catching up on photo sessions here and there. And of course, we will be keeping you posted from this end. I don't know if there's anything from your end, Wakaba.
Well, thank you very much, Abi, for that, look at what exactly is going on at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. They walk through, of course, that barometer of the economy. They're going about, looking at what exactly is going on. Well, to bring you up to speed on what exactly has been going on in terms of news here today, we want to start off at the Safari Park Hotel, where earlier today, one of the listed companies, that is British American Asset Management, which of course is now a bigger diversified group, held an annual general meeting, an extraordinary one at that, an EGM. And of course, this was meant to be able to get shareholders to approve what exactly was being brought before them. Of course, this instance being a sale of shares, 14.8% to them. Well, we'll bring you up to speed on that later on, but we now want to cross back to the Nairobi Securities Exchange for more from Abby again.